Hi, I'm Sandy, and welcome to Life with Sandy. Well, hello. Today is Tuesday, August 30th. I had to come inside because it is so breezy out there. Although you can't really see, my flag is kind of falling there. It's slipping down the slide. It's ready to go. But anyway, today is Tuesday, August 30th, and we have a plethora, a lot of birthdays today. Today is my nephew Michael, or Mike, or Mikey as I call him. I know he's a grown man now. He's outgrown Mikey. But it's Mike's wife Lauren's birthday today. So Lauren, you knew I'd sing to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lauren. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. It's also Mike's best friend, although Lauren really is his best friend. He married her. Of course that's his best friend, but his next best friend, his bestie, is Eric, who goes by Dodie. He's a really nice young man. I've met him a few times. He always keeps me laughing. He's a good friend to Mike. And today's his birthday too. He celebrates along with Lauren. What could be better for Mike, or Mikey, whatever you want to call him, than have his two best friends in life sharing the same birthday? So Eric, here's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dodie. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. So that's Eric. I've never talked to him and called him Eric. I've always called him Dodie when I've talked to him. So he's just always going to be Dodie. But it's also Deborah 55. It's Deborah 55's birthday. That's her channel name, obviously. I'd hate to think her mother named her Deborah 55. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Deborah, 55. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. It's also Kim Reed's birthday. So Kim, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kim. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. And it's also Natalie Johnson's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Natalie. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. And we also have another Deborah. Two Deborahs on the same day. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Deborah. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Well, I hope you all have a great birthday. But we also have an anniversary today, because today is Bill and Sherry, and the name of her channel is The Lion's Share. But Bill and Sherry are celebrating 49 years for their anniversary. Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary. Happy, 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 happy anniversary. Happy, 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 happy anniversary. Well, happy anniversary to you too. It's a full day here today. I'm telling you, a full day. If you can see the suits, let me give you a little clip, because Danny stopped by with Sebastian and Oliver. Here's a little clip of them stopping by to visit.
I thought she only had a one bedroom.
She does. With that.
Look who's here. You going to say hi, Dan?
Hi.
Hello.
We just talked about he's going to do the tag or the questions for him and Jimmy next Tuesday. And then who's my favorite?
I am.
Yeah, see, Jimmy thinks it's him. Jimmy even said that on Sunday.
Should be pretty obvious that it's me.
Look how happy Sebastian is. He's all looking forward to going to school next week. You should be even happier, because guess who started school today? Sophia. Yep.
He actually is happy about starting school.
Well, because he is a social butterfly.
Yes.
Me on the other hand.
That way you can see his girlfriend.
That's his plan.
It always warms my heart to see my grandsons. It just really does. And then I talked to David on the phone, and I talked to Sophia on the phone, and Alyssa texted me. this is just a plethora of good news for me today. It just really was. But I got to go rehang those up because they'll never dry the way they just. It's better than laying on the bathroom floor. I'll give it that much. It's better than laying on the bathroom floor. But it's a little breezy out there, and it was funny because we had the storms come through yesterday. I'll talk about those in a minute, but the storms came through. I was kind of bummed because I was at the restaurant when the storm came through because it got really dark, and I could have enjoyed it at home because I would have had to turn the lights on because it was early. But when Sebastian went to go in the pool, he says, Grandma, we got a problem here. And I go, what? And he said, your patio chairs are on the bottom of the pool. I didn't even notice that the wind, because on the pool deck, the upper deck, we call that, well, that's the upper deck, because the deck I sit on right there, that's the upper deck, and then the deck down there is the lower deck. But the upper deck is where we have some chairs, like if you're in the pool, you can sit and watch the kids in the pool. The wind yesterday had blown them. And I think I should have seen that earlier, because when I went out there this morning to take the covers off my furniture, the rugs were all askew from the wind. The wind had picked up the rugs. Really close to me, my David's house, my Cindy, which is Jimmy's first wife, they don't have any power because the electrical lines, we would have had power because we have a generator. So, they said it wasn't a tornado, although when people are posting things on Facebook, the clouds sure look like a tornado, but they're not calling it a tornado. They're calling it a gustodo, G-U-S-T, like, and then tornado, R-A-D-O, gustrado or something. But what it is that it's just high winds, and it's not a sheer wind, but it was like a high wind that went in a swoop like that. But the weather didn't substantiate it being a tornado, but it did a lot of wind damage. So, and it took out a lot of trees, not around here so much, but it did take a lot of trees. We did lose a couple. One girl, she was 14, after the storm went out to clean up the backyard, to clean up the twigs and sticks, and she thought she was grabbing a twig, and she grabbed a live power line. Obviously, she got electrocuted and she died. And then this morning, some of the schools have started today. Sophia's school started today, but Sebastian and Oliver's school doesn't start till next week. The grandmother who was watching them thought school started today, and so she dropped the boys off at school, and they went out to the playground. And it just so happened that a police car was going by patrolling the area, and they had come in contact with a live wire, and the 8-year-old was getting electrocuted, so the 10-year-old brother was trying to save him, and the police officers just happened to come by at the exact same time, and so they came at their own risk and safety of themselves, which is a true police officer, putting their lives ahead of everybody else's. Went and grabbed them too, and they got shocked, but I guess from all of the things, they got burnt, but none of them died, thankfully, but the 8-year-old is in critical condition. And what they did was they didn't even call an EMS or anything, they just put him in the car and they brought him right away to the hospital. So we're still waiting to hear on them, so hopefully they'll be better. But Mary's in the hospital again, so if you could pray for Mary, I'd appreciate it. Now they think she has pneumonia. She went to this one hospital, I will not name that hospital, which shall remain nameless, that everybody around here knows that you don't go to. And I don't know why, I know why she didn't go to it. She should have went to the hospital that she normally goes to, because that's where all of her physicians are. But the storm was so bad, and she was having a hard time breathing, and so she didn't want to drive in that. Why she didn't call my brother Michael, who lives less than a mile from her, I have no idea. And why she didn't call me, even though I live about 15 or 20 minutes, I still could have got there and taken her. But anyway, she decided to drive herself to this hospital, which we shall not name. And she got there yesterday at 6:30 at night. And I was talking to her at midnight, and she still had seen a doctor, but she was waiting for a room because they were going to admit her. And she was going to call me. I said, well, call me during the night. So no matter what time, because I want to know. And she never called. And so at 9 o'clock when I woke up this morning, I called her. And Mary, from 7 o'clock or 6:30 last night, was sitting in the emergency room in a wheelchair until 9 o'clock this morning. She still didn't have a room. But they had put an IV bag on her to kind of replenish her fluids, but they still hadn't given her oxygen. And they had determined at that point that she had pneumonia, and they were ordering some medications for her. And then she called me at 3 o'clock to tell me that she didn't have a room yet, but she was had a bed in the emergency room at that point. So she was there, and they had taken 23 ounces of fluid off her lungs, which she said hurt like she said that really hurt bad. But now she's got a really bad cough, and she's got some chest pain. So Mary just can't catch a break. So if you could pray for Mary, I really would appreciate it, because I'm really, really overly concerned about her. And it's like after 6 now, and she still hasn't called to tell me she's got a room. It's like, I said, Mary, next time. She said, I'm never coming back here. And she said, no matter what, I'm never coming back here. I said, well, I hope you learned your lessons, because I even know you don't go to that hospital. It's like, I mean, it's closer to her house, but there's some places you just know you shouldn't go, and that's one of them. So she's still waiting to see what's going to come of that. Nobody can be with her because of COVID. Not so much because of COVID, but just they still have so many restrictions that who can sit with you, because you got to get tested and all that stuff. So she's all alone. It's just, it's still, I don't know. I understand, but I don't understand. It's like we're past supposedly the COVID dangers of 2020, but you still got to follow the rules, I guess. So it's just kind of annoying. But anyway, so if you could pray for Mary, I really would appreciate it. And then yesterday we were at the Olive Garden, and God was looking out for me, because I told you I was going to order what I wanted, and I did. I ordered my chicken tortellini Alfredo. It was a cheese-filled chicken tortellini Alfredo. So let's get that straight, because it was really, really high. And I looked at it, it was 1,980 points for that meal. I probably ate a little over a third of it. I might have eaten half of it. But looking at it today, because I think I did eat half of it, because I had the other half I had today for my lunch. So even at that, I figured it was 1,000 calories for that, and I had a breadstick, which I forget exactly how many calories that was. And but anyway, so I had a free coupon for a free birthday dessert. You know, it's almost my birthday month, so I'm thinking, you know, it was my weigh-in day. I knew that I was going to go off. I think I'm going to have a piece of yellow cake, which they call it a strawberry yellow cream cake or something. It's a yellow cake with like a cream cheese frosting with some drizzled in strawberries. So I thought, that's what I'm going to get. Because I looked it up. I was going to get the chocolate lasagna brownie, but then I saw that it was like 37 points. I think it was like 1,000 calories, whereas the piece of cake was like 480. So I thought, the better choice. See, I'm making better choices. Because you know what? The scale, it doesn't matter what you track. You can put whatever you want in that little book, but when you get on that scale, it's going to give you a true reckoning of what you did the week before. So I thought, no, I'm just going to order that. So anyway, we ordered our meals. I had I forgot, I had a cup of soup, the pasta fagioli, and I had an iced tea and a glass of water with it. So I probably hit with my breakfast, because I had that Rice Krispies and all that. I think it was, forget how many, with my breakfast and lunch, I think I had like 700 calories. So I was over my calories yesterday, but I told you I was going to do that, and I wasn't going to have a problem with it, not feel any guilt. And I didn't feel any guilt. I really didn't. So we get all done eating our meal, and the waiter comes over, and I said, well, you know, he says, would you like anything else? And I said, well, I have a coupon for a free dessert. And I showed him it, and he says, oh, you know, I've never worked that coupon. Let me get my manager to figure out how we're going to put that on the bill. And I says, oh, okay. And then just then the storm started outside, and all the power in the whole restaurant went out, and it went completely black. And it was just like people, like they've never been in a blackout or something before, because they went, oh no, oh, what's going on? Oh my gosh. It's like, I'm okay. It's storming outside and we're losing electricity. If you were home, would you have done the same reaction? Ah! You know, it was just kind of funny. But then the lights came back on. But then they went back off. And then they were off even longer. So much to the point. And really, it was, like I told you, it was my perfect day, because we were in a restaurant, which is inside, I know. But it really got really dark. The people were turning on the flashlights on their cell phones, because it was before the generator kicked in, because it got like black in there. It was really, really, I'm thinking, why can't I be home? This is perfect weather for me. I would have loved it to be in home. But anyway, so then the lights came back on again. And then the waiter came over and he says, well, can I just take your debit card with me? Because you can pay at the table. I don't know if you can do that all around, but here at Olive Garden, you can pay at the table. They have like a little kiosk where you can pay your bill. You don't have to worry about getting the bill from the server. And then it's got a little chart to tell you how much to leave for the tip and all that. But so I said, yeah, and that's not a problem. So he goes in the back and then he comes back out and he says, oh, the terminals are down back there. I can't order your cake. I can't even bill you out. He says, but you can probably do it on this terminal because the terminals in the back aren't working. And I'm thinking, how are these terminals going to work when your back terminals aren't working? So I thought, okay, so I slide the card through, and then like a couple other people slid their cards through. It was too many people hitting the internet all at one time, and the little spinny thing was spinning around, and then we lost power again. So it was gone again, and then it came back on, and then the system was completely down at that point. So then the server came over and he says, well, I'm sorry, it might be about 5 or 10 minutes before our generator really gets everything kicking. Hopefully you're not in a hurry unless you have cash. And I said, well, I don't have that much cash on me. And I said, that's not a problem, we'll wait. So then Jim and I were talking about, he says, this is kind of funny because the football game he was watching in England over the weekend, I don't even know who was playing, but somebody was playing in England. They lost power in the stadium, and they gave everybody in the stadium free drinks. And so then Jim said, well, that would be kind of nice if they gave us free drinks while we're waiting. Jim was drinking a Coke. I was drinking an iced tea, But, they were $3.50 each. So give me the $7 off. I am not going to complain. And the lady at the next table leans over and starts yelling at Jim. Like, okay, first of all, you weren't part of this conversation, so A, B, C your way out of it, because it's like it was between A and B and see you later, because I don't need you in my conversation. And then she was, like attacking Jim. Well, you know what? There's a couple things in life you don't do. You never, never, never say anything negative about someone else's children to a mother, because that mama bear, she's going to raise up. Same thing goes for your husband or your wife. Don't. Unless they're being a total jerk. Jim was not being a total jerk. We were having a private conversation. He was in no more way asking for free drinks. He was just saying it as a joke. And so I looked at her and I said, well, if you were going to listen to the entire conversation, you would have seen that it was just a joke. But obviously you just came in at the tail end where you were not invited. I was so mad at her. I was just, like my claws were out. It's like, don't you dare. Don't you dare. I'm going to defend anybody I love to the hilt. I really am. I don't care. And so she says, well, he's the one saying that he wants free drinks. And I said, no, if you would have been listening, if you would have been eavesdropping better, you would have realized that he was just saying about the football game in England. But no, you didn't want to hear that part of it. And then her husband could see. So now his little claws came up because he was like defending his wife. And he says, you don't need to be yelling at her. And I go, I am not yelling at her. I am just telling her to leave my man alone. So it's like, it got tense there for a minute, just a hairy little minute. And so then she got lighter and she says, oh, I'm really sorry. I didn't hear the beginning of the conversation, but you're right. If I really think about it, you weren't really asking for free drinks. She says, but now that you mentioned it, because they had a whole bottle of wine, she says, it would be kind of nice. And I'm thinking, oh, butt out lady now. We're not going to be even part of that conversation. You didn't think it was a good idea. You pay for your big old bottle of wine. So anyway, finally, I thought, well, I'm going to try it one more time. So I swiped the card and it worked. And so I was able to pay for my order. And then the manager came over to apologize and everything. And then she said to me, she says, well, let me give you my card. So, because part of the coupon was that you had to pay for a full course dinner before you could get the free dessert. And so she says, just so you don't have to come back and get a whole new dinner, which I would appreciate if you did, but I completely understand if you don't want to. And she gave me her card and on it she said free dessert. So I do have a free dessert still coming. But so then when we were coming out, we had to cross over. If you're familiar with this area, 23 in Gratiot is like, it's like ridiculous to try to get across. There's 2 lanes going east to west, 2 lanes going this way, 2 lanes going north to south, 1 lane turning that way and 1 lane turning that way, and then a right lane going that way and a right. It's just like, oh. And they have a light that specifically tells you that you can only turn right or you can only turn left and you can only go straight. And it's like a long light. And so we're sitting there and I'm watching, and the east to west traffic is moving like the light is working, but the traffic light is not working. It's flashing red. So it's flashing red for them also, because thankfully it flashes red all the time when they go out. Not like one side has a flashing green. So they're going like this, and the scaredy cats going east to west, like one car would go across. And then all of a sudden, east to west would have like full traffic going. So I thought, there must be a police officer up there, but I'm thinking he's really kind of taking his life into his hands because it was thundering and lightning. I'm thinking you could get hit with a bolt of lightning, but once again, a police officer putting their safety above yours. You know, they're worried about you over their safety. No, it was just that we had scaredy cats going east to west. And so finally, when they got up there, the two cars in front of us were kind of getting brave, and they were going. And then the car in front of us wasn't going to go, and Jim laid on the horn, and I guess he kind of scared the guy, so he kept on going. So then Jim went on through, and then the two cars behind us went through. So finally, the east-west people got a little bit braver. And then it was traffic lights were out all the way home. And then there was an ambulance that come. There was a big accident by one of the traffic lights, which is probably the same situation there. The people, you know, it's like every other car. Why don't you know the rule? Every other car. But so then we got home, and then today when I was outside, I know this is going to be a babbling. I was thinking, I don't think I have anything to talk about today. Pshaw, pshaw. You know me, blabbermouth. I can think of anything to talk about. Anyway, I was talking to my neighbor next door, Christine, and I came out and she says, oh yeah, Jim jinxed it for us. And I said, what are you talking about? And she says, oh, he didn't tell you. And he did tell me, but I pretend like he didn't. She says, yeah, on Saturday he was telling Jason and I that Jason and I, and then they live on that side, and Denise and Greg on the other side should be helping to pay for your generator since we got the generator, we haven't lost power. And I just kind of laughed at him and went, haha, yeah, sure, Jim, that's going to happen. And she says, and sure enough, 2 days later, we lose power. And guess what? Your generator kicked on. We weren't home for Jim to enjoy it. Jim would have been in his glory to know his generator kicked on. But even though it kicked on, everything around the house, still, we had to go and redo all the digital clocks. We had to reboot the TV. My TV actually had to reboot the whole TV, not only the cable service, but the whole TV. So it was a long night coming home, getting everything back working. But then I meant to tell you, I was going to show you yesterday, I finished this book on Sunday. I started it on Sunday and I finished it on Sunday. Remember I told you I was going to start it and finish it? I told you I was going to start it at least. No, I finished it. I finished the whole thing. A couple of the parts when I was reading it, it sounded familiar, but then it didn't after that. So I don't know if it was just a quinky-dink or if it's just because I was refreshing my memory, because remember I did start the book before, but then I never finished it. But it's a very good book. Once again, I think that Howard Rowan wrote the book, not James Patterson. So then yesterday I started James Patterson, 20th Victim, which is, and Maxine Petro, who does the, it's kind of like Rizzoli and Isles. I think it's based kind of like on that a little bit. It's a police detective called Boxer, is her last name is Boxer. Leslie Boxer, I think it is. They always refer to her as Boxer, so I don't remember what her first name is. And her best friend is a reporter for the newspaper, and her there's a threesome of three best friends. And her other friend works in the morgue. She's the doctor in the morgue. And so the three of them try to solve crimes together, type of thing. But this one's really interesting. Simultaneous murders in LA, Chicago, and San Francisco, the Woman's Murder Club grapples with a case so fast-moving and wide-ranging that at first the crime seemed like a physical impossibility. Reporter Cindy Thomas got the early scoop, but it's Lindsay Boxer's jurisdiction. And while her DA, oh, that's how I forgot. The DA was her other friend, Yuki. As Castiago clashes with Lindsay in a brutal test of loyalty, the medical examiner, Claire, there's four of them, I forgot, faces a potential fatal crisis of her own. So I forgot it was the Murders Club. It's a series of books. He does this one, I think. Oh no, it's also with Maxine. He does this, and he does the Alex Cross. I do read the Alex Cross, and I do read the Maxine or the Murder Club ones too. I do read the both of them. I had said this on one of my comments. One of the problems that I have is when I was reading Alex Cross, I never pictured him as I never pictured Alex Cross as a black man. And I think I associate that with the fact that I'm white, so I associate characters with being white, unless there's something distinctive that tells you that they're of a certain ethnicity. So in my mind, he was going to be a young white man. And then when Alex Cross came on TV in the movies, it was Morgan Freeman, who was far from a young white man, although he played the part really well. So I could very easily switch my perception of who I thought Alex Cross really was to that particular actor. So that really, I do love him. I loved him in Shawshank Redemption. I just love that. I get so many quotes from that movie. I really do. It was such a good movie. But I had the other half of my, I'm sorry I moved you there for a minute. I had the other half of my tortellini. Oh, that was another thing. There was an article on two things. Joan at Joan's Pointed Plate told me that in New Jersey they're not allowed to use plastic bags anymore. They have to use returnable bags. And so there was a big article in one of the stories that I read on Google today about all of the the little plastic things that they can carry their groceries in while they're shopping are being stolen because people don't bring their bags. So I just thought that was odd. That was one thing that I read. Now I forgot what the other thing was I was going to tell you about. Oh, I know what it was. There was a list of the 10 worst foods you can order out, that you can order when you order out. And my Olive Garden Alfredo chicken tortellini cheese fill was number 10 on the list. It's like, I thought, oh, it's one of my favorite meals to order, but now it's got me second thinking. I'm kind of glad I didn't see it. I kind of wish I would have seen it yesterday, but part of me just is, no, I'm kind of glad I didn't see it because I didn't have any guilt ordering it, but now I will have guilt in the future ordering that, so I'll have to find another go-to favorite. But I had the other half with the one breadstick for my meal of the day, and I know it's not the way to do it, so don't jump all over me, but I had way too many calories yesterday, and so I'm trying to balance out today. And so tomorrow I'll get right back on the track of eating the proper way, because today, I might have some fruit later on and maybe a hard-boiled egg, but I'm done eating for the day because I ate way too much yesterday, calorie-wise, definitely. So this is the way I'm going to balance it out, and because I like the feeling. I like the feeling of having a loss 3 weeks in a row, almost 8 pounds. It's just like, can't shake a stick at that feeling. I like that feeling. So never giving up. Realizing it's taken me a while to get this far, but it's also taken me a while to stay this way. So I have to get back to losing, and that's my plan. All right, half an hour in. Thank you for sticking with me. If you made it to the end, say, I made it. I'm kind of curious how many people actually made it to the end, because I was a babbling fool. So here we go. What am I going to say? You know it. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Be kind, be healthy, be happy, be nice. All that good stuff. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.